Staff of Tzu affiliates join pilgrimages to celebrate Tzu's 51st anniversary. We learn about how probiotics or helpful bacteria can help one's digestive and immune systems. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri. Thank you for joining us. In Taiwan, to celebrate Tzu's 51st anniversary, staff members of Tzu's affiliates conducted a walking meditation at the Jingsi abode. Meanwhile, staff members and volunteers at different Tzu hospitals also organized pilgrimages to celebrate the occasion, chanting the Buddha's name as they proceeded with resolute steps. Let's take a look. Staff and volunteers at Daling Tzu Hospital join a pilgrimage to the hospital. Proceeding on the path leading to the hospital, they mindfully think about how patients deal with their worries and anxieties. By joining the pilgrimage, they've also realized Master Zheng Yan's hope that the medical staff will safeguard lives with compassion.
Now that Daling Tzu Hospital is becoming a medical center, we want to promise the local people that we will provide medical center level services to the residents. We don't wait till they ask for such services. I'm grateful that our volunteers and staff have joined the pilgrimage.
Meanwhile, the medical staff and volunteers at Taichung Tzu Hospital also joined a pilgrimage led by Superintendent Dr. Jian Shouxing. Among the worshippers is the first Tzu volunteer in New York, who has come despite having to rely on a cane. In addition, nearly 700 medical staff members and volunteers at Taipei Tzu Hospital also joined a pilgrimage to celebrate Tzu's 51st anniversary. As they chant the Buddha's name and pray for the world, they also calm their minds.
I hope we can accomplish the mission the Master has given us and grow spiritually. We must truly understand the meaning of life. Let's do our best to help those in need.
At 4 o'clock in the morning, the staff of Tzu's affiliates have gathered at the Jingsi abode to conduct a walking meditation.
The 51st anniversary means we've stayed firm to our initial aspirations. I have a lot of confidence that we can follow in the Master's footsteps and proceed. I hope all the good deeds in the world can continue like this.
To celebrate Tzu's 51st anniversary, Tzu hospitals in Hualien, Yuli, and Guanshan have also made special pastries. Since Tzu Hospital will undergo hospital accreditation in June, everyone also praised that the hospital will pass the evaluation. Also in celebration of Tzu's 51st anniversary, volunteers from across the island held tea ceremonies at the Jingsi abode in Hualien, Taiwan, to welcome volunteers from around the world to return to Tzu's spiritual home. One participant at this event was the chairman of the UN Department of Public Information, Mr. Bruce Knotts, who recently became a disciple of Master Zheng Yan.
Here at the abode in Hualien, a tea ceremony is held to welcome volunteers from all corners of the world. The organization and spirit of the volunteers have deeply impressed Mr. Bruce Knotts, the chairman of the UN Department of Public Information.
I have seen many great leaders, including Master, use humility as a powerful tool. So I don't see humility as a weakness. I see it as a powerful asset that people should cultivate.
Today's events have been an opportunity for all of the 112 participants from all over Taiwan to learn humility and respect in service to others.
We are all working on these arrangements together and cooperating wonderfully. We are full of mutual respect and gratitude.
The occasion is an auspicious one, with so many dedicated members of the Tzu family growing closer to each other in their mission of serving others.
In China, recently in both Beijing and Shanghai, volunteers came together for training sessions to learn from senior Tzu volunteers and share their Tzu experiences. In our next report, we'll meet some volunteers at both locations and hear their thoughts.
Here in Beijing, 108 volunteers in training from the northern and eastern regions of China have gathered to learn from senior Tzu Chi volunteers. One volunteer, Sun Xiaojie, came from Heihe in the north, traveling over a day to reach Beijing.
Every time you hear these kinds of messages from the Tzu Chi family or the master, they fill your heart with resilience and perseverance. You know you have to keep going.
Tzu Chi has been training volunteers in Beijing, and volunteers from outlying provinces have had to make the regular journey for years. This year, to show gratitude to the Tzu Chi family in Beijing, one volunteer from Changchun brought a special gift.
This bag of rice is labeled with a saying, "When one drinks water, one must not forget the source." We give this out of gratitude from the DaAi farm in Changchun.
This is something that only family members would do for one another. They travel long distances to share this gift. On behalf of all of us in Beijing, we are very grateful to our Tzu Chi family in Changchun for this gift of love.
Meanwhile, a similar training session took place in Shanghai at the Jiangfeng branch office. Here, 146 volunteers listened to lessons on Tzu Chi's charity and medical missions.
My grandmother was a person who received help, and when she suddenly passed, I truly felt and recognized the impermanence of life. She was gone in a blink, so I made a vow in my heart, and I would do my part to help all living things.
Once you make your vow, you'll find that love spread to different aspects of your life, and that more and more people come into your life with the same aspiration.
The volunteers at this training session are studying Tzu Chi's etiquette in daily life as well as the Jingsi philosophy. Everyone is attentive and impressed, reaffirming their aspirations to do good for others and the world.
In order to become a nuclear-free homeland, the government plans to expand solar energy capacity to 22 times the current levels by 2025. The Ministry of Economic Affairs has set up 4,700 hectares of publicly owned salt fields to develop solar power. However, this decision has been criticized by environmentalists. They urge the Ministry of the Interior and the Ministry of Economic Affairs to undertake a more careful assessment.
Whether it's egrets or endangered black-faced spoonbills, they all freely gather in this wetland to forage for food. This is quite a rare sight at Kaohsiung Xingda Port Yong'an wetland.
We now have the northern shoveler duck, the spot-billed duck, the teal duck, and the great egret, and the little egret, along with the black-faced spoonbill. They all exist in this very shallow area and can find enough food to support themselves, as they are quite content to be here.
More than 6 years ago, this traditional salt field covering 131 hectares, or some 130 soccer pitches, were purchased by Thai Power. Outside this area is Tainan's largest wetland, which in 1999 was built an important wild bird habitat by BirdLife International. Despite this designation, Thai Power is still committed to developing solar energy here, as many conservationists believe that these birds will gradually disappear.
Solar panels will definitely cause some reflection. For those traveling south and coming from the north, when they land, they might not recognize this area because of the reflection. This area probably won't be suitable for birds to use if there's a solar power plant here.
The local government avoided an environmental impact assessment for Yong'an's wetland development because the plant is less than 10 hectares, which means the government is actually violating the law.
Although Thai Power says it has consideration of ecological factors, it plans to install solar panels on 9.45 hectares of Yong'an wetlands, occupying only 7% of the salt fields, as it says this area's natural tide has already disappeared.
We don't interfere with the tide or the ocean flow, as our water is rainwater or dirty water from fish ponds, so the quality here is not very good.
9 hectares here have a capacity of about 4.6 megawatt, and now we are generating about 3.3 to 3.5 megawatt.
For the purpose of achieving a nuclear-free homeland, the government hopes to expand solar power capacity by 20 times by 2025. To achieve this, the MOEA has decided to develop 4,700 hectares of salt fields, which has led many environmentalists to complain.
台盐它所拥有的这个土地，在台湾的西南沿海。
Taiyan's land on the southwest coast of Taiwan is important to the wetland ecology. It's a rare and precious ecological habitat that needs a proper EIA for evaluation purposes.
我们是不是在做后续的一个运用上，应该要重新做一个评估。
The Ministry of the Interior in 2011 announced 82 important wetland areas across Taiwan, covering a total of 50,685 hectares. But in 2015, when the Wetland Conservation Act was implemented, this amount of acreage shrunk to 47,627 hectares. The major change was that these salt fields were no longer wetlands, but designated for solar power generation.
To build these solar power plants, they will reduce the habitat of these wild birds, and then they will have to backfill the area, which will reduce the amount of water in local wetlands and also increase the risk of flooding.
As for using these salt plains, we are looking into these ecological problems, and before we make an announcement, we will hold a public hearing.
Whether it's water-based solar power plants or those built on agricultural land or even salt fields, there is still a need to ensure that this renewable energy is being generated in a manner that doesn't harm the environment. It's only this way that Taiwan can have a fair and just energy policy to ensure the well-being of future generations in Taiwan.
In our next piece, we'll learn a bit about probiotics. What are they? Where can you find them? And how can they help your digestive system as well as your immune system? Let's find out.
There are over 300 known types of probiotics, while there are thousands of different kinds of bacteria. Researchers perform lots of tests to learn how to help people maintain a proper balance of probiotics to aid in digestion.
Not only do they help in digestion, but probiotics also help decrease some trace elements. They also contribute to producing vitamin B and vitamin K. With probiotics, we can maintain a balanced culture in our digestive system and maintain a state of bacterial immunity.
In addition to eating probiotics directly, there are also some foods that act as good sources of probiotics, like yogurt and milk-based drinks. Milk powder, cheese, fermented vegetables, miso, and natto are all great sources. Additionally, there are other food sources which probiotics themselves love to eat, and eating these foods will provide a healthy breeding ground for probiotics in the digestive system.
Things like green peppers, yellow peppers, xanthochyllum, grapes, and grapefruit. These foods and any vegetables or fruits that are especially colorful tend to carry a lot of natural plant chemicals that come with very good benefits.
At the market, if you want to begin cultivating probiotics, you need what we call oligosaccharides, or oligo for short. There are certain drinks you can buy that will coat your intestinal tract, and then after ingesting probiotics, they will have a great environment to reproduce.
It is not so simple that merely ingesting probiotics will solve all your stomach problems. You also need to reduce the growth of bad bacteria. This means avoiding snacks with lots of artificial additives, as the culture for probiotics can be easily disrupted.
There are a lot of sweeteners out there that interfere with our gastrointestinal culture. Things like pastries and other sweets can contain a lot of gluten, which can destroy your intestinal bacteria.
Probiotics should not be consumed alongside coffee or tea. Avoid these drinks for an hour or two before and after ingesting the probiotics. Also, if you have received antibiotic treatment, be careful about the right time to ingest the probiotics to ensure their effectiveness.
If you have just started taking antibiotics, then eating probiotics won't have any effect. However, when you are just about overcoming your sickness, then eating probiotics will be effective, since the surface of intestines is unoccupied. But when you have ingested harmful bacteria, the probiotics will have nowhere to adhere to, so they will be easily discharged.
The probiotics can only thrive in a certain temperature range and will die off in higher temperatures, so they are better preserved if they are properly refrigerated.
Manufacturers may say you can keep something at room temperature. However, from a scientific perspective, that is still quite warm, usually around 25 degrees Celsius. And in Taiwan, room temperature may often be 30 degrees Celsius for half the year. This will kill a lot of probiotics in these products.
Doctors suggest that those who suffer from serious illness, weak immune systems, or those undergoing chemotherapy be careful when ingesting probiotics. It is always best to first consult a physician or nutritionist to ensure that the probiotics will not affect any medical treatment you are undergoing.
In another medical piece, in the Philippines, Sarah Dede from Cebu had a toothache 7 years ago. But because she did not have the money to see the dentist, she asked a witch doctor for help. Unfortunately, this treatment did not work and her lower jaw swelled, affecting her ability to eat and speak. Upon learning of her problem, a kind-hearted German tourist gave her money so she could see a dentist. However, she still needed surgery, which would cost a lot of money. Therefore, the dentist later contacted Tzu for help, and Tzu has decided to send Sarah to Taipei Tzu Hospital in Taiwan for treatment.
For 7 years, Sarah has been in pain and great discomfort because her lower jaw has become swollen, preventing her from eating and speaking with ease. All this stemmed from just one toothache.
I asked a witch doctor for help. He used a pair of pliers to remove the tooth, but the part removed was small. The whole tooth wasn't removed completely.
Sarah and her husband live in Cebu, Philippines. They have 6 children which they must raise. Thus, she had no money to see a doctor for her toothache. One kind German tourist paid for her dental treatment. But because she needed surgery and it was more than she could afford, as this dentist contacted Tzu for help.
People like her are unfortunate because she has no money to see the doctor, so she can only ask a witch doctor for help, and that delayed her treatment.
Tzu decided to send her to Taiwan for the surgery. Her sister-in-law has been accompanying her. The volunteers also take turn accompanying her from Cebu to Manila.
I'm very happy because I will have the surgery and I'll have no more pain.
The trip to Taiwan will change Sarah's life forever.
In our continuing series on Tzu's relief work in Ecuador, we focus on Canoa again. In the aftermath of the major earthquake last year, Tzu rolled out a work for relief program to help the residents in Canoa clean up their hometown. Now that Tzu is helping the residents rebuild their church, it is also planning to initiate another work for relief program.
I live in the hostel here in Canoa. I live with my sister and my grandparents. Our family was affected by the earthquake.
While we are here at the hostel, we're all going to be a family. We always share everything as a family, which is the most important part. But it is also good to motivate them and tell them to go out to look for a job, and that life goes on, and we must move forward to attain a better life. We won't spend all our lives here at the hostel. Everyone should search for their homes again. The people here want to work, and if it is possible, we will rebuild the church. If someone wants to provide the materials for us, our people will immediately begin rebuilding the church.
The foundation gave me the opportunity to do what I am born to do. It's my passion, and I'm very happy to be working with you. With the construction of this church, there comes many benefits for all.
Viene con mucho beneficio para todos, para el pueblo.
Okay, that's it.
Perder la iglesia que se dañó en el terremoto fue una pérdida muy grande.
Losing the church, which was damaged during the earthquake, was a great loss. I even cried when I witnessed the church being knocked over. Thankfully, Tzu arrived, and I knew they would help us, although they are from another religion. They're Buddhist. They're helping us a lot. Relationships are better than religion. That's what my mom told me. Everyone is ecstatic because we need a church here, and it's going to be better.
They do not pick and choose whom they help. They are not mistrustful. As the music states, do not distrust. They accede with the belief that the rest of the people have the same heart. That's the good thing about Tzu Chi. That's what attracts me, that's what fills my heart, and it makes me joyful. Even though we are not from the same religion and we may not understand them or they may not understand us, we can still communicate with each other. It made me emotional because Tzu Chi gave me something that their teacher gave them. And one of the volunteers gave it to me personally. So for me, it is something that to the very end, I will always say that I receive more than I am giving in exchange.
What I want to accomplish here as a volunteer is helping the people of Kanoa carry out their goals and their endeavors. That's what I would like.
My hope is that more people join and that more people can give without asking for anything in return. And that we as people can realize that when we try to teach other people, it's not just about receiving payment. Being able to collaborate is my goal.
The Tzu Chi academies in Canada have been promoting the teaching of Jingsi aphorisms. Let's visit a Tzu Chi academy in Surrey, where teachers use animation and pictures to help students understand Jingsi aphorisms.
The story of the boy and the apple tree attract these primary grade children, with everyone seriously discussing what the big tree did for the little boy. As the middle graders understand more about Chinese, the teacher leads everyone to speak good words using animation. The teaching of Jingsi aphorisms is widely accepted at the Tzu Chi Academy in Surrey. These senior graders express their understanding of Jingsi aphorisms through drawing and writing.
When we talked about being frugal, they told us how to be frugal through writing and drawing.
This class is arranged after the midterm exam and is proceeding in a relaxed and lively way.
This class allows everyone to reflect on themselves and share their life experiences through drawing and writing.
Through the learning of Jingsi aphorisms, each student feels the positive energy of these Chinese words of wisdom.
In China, a Jingsi Books and Cafe recently opened in Beijing. At the opening ceremony, many experts from the cultural circle expressed their well wish that the place will help promote Chinese culture as well as humanitarianism. We'll leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.